In this video, I'm going to play through several games from a computer program called GCompris. GCompris is a free open source program aimed at early child education. It's available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android. It features lots of little games that are various ages, and it's suitable. There's a lot more to go into from here, but I'm just going to focus on games that for people interested in learning English and those that are likely to be traveling soon. So I'll start off with the basics. If you have never seen or heard it before, I'll go through the letters. There's 26 letters in English, starting with A, and this is how they're drawn, what they look like. B, have a straight line down, and then two curves where the curve meets in the middle and starts at the top and the bottom. The C is a curve that covers most of a circle with a space empty on the right hand side. D with a straight line down and a single curve from the top to the bottom. E is a vertical line on the left and then three horizontal lines on the top, middle and bottom. F also is like E with a single line on the left, but there's a longer line at the top and a slightly shorter line in the middle. G starts with a large curve around, similar to a C, and it has a straight section on the right, and then a line going into the middle. H is two vertical lines, joined by a horizontal line in the middle. And I is just a vertical line. The J is a vertical line similar to an I that curves back around to the left. A K is a vertical line and then a line that goes up and a line that comes down as well. It's also acceptable for this line to start in the middle. L is a vertical line and then extending out to the right hand side as well. M is two vertical lines on the left and the right, and something similar to a V shape as well, where they'll start from the top and then work their way down to meet in the middle. N has two vertical lines and a line from the top left to the bottom right. An O is a big circle. A P is like a D with a vertical line on the left hand side, but the curve that comes out starts at the top and meets back into the middle. A Q is a circle similar to an O with a dash in the bottom right hand corner going from the inside of the circle to out. R is a vertical line on the left with a curve similar to a P, or curve identical to a P, and then a line that comes from the middle down to the bottom right, similar to the bottom half of a K. An S is wavy that starts at the top right and then works its way around to the left hand side and then curves back around to the bottom and then back up again. A T is a horizontal line, and from the middle of that horizontal line is a vertical line that comes down from it. A U is a line that has two vertical lines and then there's a curve joining the bottom two of those. You can do it in one stroke. A V is a line that starts in the top left and goes to the bottom right, and then goes from that section up to the top right again. A W is two V's that are joined together. So you make one motion down and up and then do it in one other one straight up. An X is a cross, start at the top right, start at the top left and go to the bottom right, and then pick up the pen, go from the bottom right to the bottom left, crossing in the middle. A Y is very similar to a V, except it's half, the V section is half as big, and the Y section is a straight line coming down to the bottom. Last of the 26 symbols is a Z, which has got a horizontal line, two horizontal lines, and they're joined from a line from the top left to the bottom right. And that's the alphabet. It can be drawn two ways with uppercase and lowercase. We're just going to go through one at the moment, but we'll come across the differences in uppercase and lowercase later. Now we'll go through the numbers. We've got 10 symbols for numbers. 0 is very similar to an O, but it's drawn as if they've been squished in from the sides, pushed in from the sides. A 1 is a line that starts nearly at the top and then goes up to a point where it then continues vertically down. A 2 curves around the top and then comes down to the bottom left, and then there's a horizontal line to the right. A 3 is very similar to an E, but it's mirrored, and the lines are curved instead of drawn straight. A 4 starts at the top and works its way down to the middle of the left, and then its lines drawn horizontally across. Then go back up to the start of the line at the top, and then draw down a vertical line. A 5 start at the top, draw a horizontal line, and then come down about halfway around, and then do most of a circle to link back up underneath where the start of it is. A 6 is, I'm going to describe it in the reverse that I've just drawn it, is to start a circle, and then as you come around to the top left-hand side, extend up a bit higher, and then come back over to the right-hand side. 7 is a horizontal line starting at the top, and then works its way back down most of the way across to the bottom. An 8 is like two small half-size zeros that are joined together. They're touching the top and the bottom as if one's been put on the other. And a 9 is an upside-down 6. So you start with a circle at the top and then extend down the right-hand side to the bottom. So that's 36 symbols that you're going to come across with English all of the time. So I'll swap into colors, and now we've got all the different letters here. If you note at the top as well, we've got an uppercase F, and the rest of the letters are written in lowercase. So to find the black duck, click on it over here. Now it wants me to find the blue duck, and down here it's telling me that I'm 3 through 6 different options. Find the red duck, find the green duck, find the white duck, and the yellow duck. So now I've got all 6 of the 6 done. We've completed the segment. It's going to give us some more options. The grey duck, orange duck, green again, purple, so I've got some new colours here, yellow, brown, black, and white. Got a few more new colours here as well, so find the purple duck, the pink one, brown, orange, yellow, blue, grey, and green. So that completes the basic colour section, and I'll move on to maze section. So this is Tux. It's Penguin's a mascot for open source software, and our goal is to get the penguin to the door by moving with the keypad. So get it to move down to the bottom and then across to the right. Then got to move down and then take some turns, and then we'll find our way to the bottom right of the screen. So moving across to the right, back across to the left, up and down, the 4 ways we can move in the puzzle. We're going to have to move down, right, up, right, down, right, and then all the way and up again. Don't have to go left in this maze. In this case, I'm going to go right, then up, right, down, right, up. I'll take a wrong turn, go up again, left, right, down, and right. So in all these maps, the directions we're referring to it is all the same. It's like we're looking at a map of a country, and we're going to go from one city to another. We'll move to a different type one soon. Whereas if we're walking in the street and someone is giving directions of saying walk forward and then turn left and turn left again. In this case, I've got to go right, down, left, down, then up again. Sorry, back up the way I went before, then right, down, up, right, down, and then right again, and then gets us through it. So if I was to continue playing the game, the mazes would get progressively larger, and then we'd also get shoes. So if we come back a few, we'll make Tux bigger, so it's easy to see. So if you have a look now, the penguins have got yellow webbed feet, but I can swap the game over and they've now got shoes, which means that if I push them to just go in one direction, then they'll keep walking as long as there's no decision to turn left or right. And I'll get them to go down, and now they find the exit. So we'll go out of this one from where we're using a maze with absolute directions, like the directions on a compass, north, east, south, and west, and move to one where we're using the relative maze. In this case, we've got options of turning right, turning left, and walking forward, and it's a combination of using those. So we'll go back to the start. From here, we've got to walk forward, turn left, and we carry on down the passageway. And then there's an option to turn right, but we keep going straight. In this case, we're walking down the corridor, turn left, walk back down the other corridor, turn right, down the corridor, and the door's at the end of the hallway. So turn left, around the corner, and follow the hallway all the way to the end. In this case, I've got to turn left and walk north, turn right, follow the corridor along, and then it's at the end of the hallway. So turn around to 180 degrees, as in face the other way. Walk forward, take the first right, and then follow the hallway to the end. From here, we've got to turn left and go down the corridor. And then take a right-hand turn and carry on to the end. I'll come back to this one, but I'm going to go back to a different activity of find your left and right hand. So each hand is a representative of left or right, and we're looking at this one to identify via the thumb that it's the palm of the hand, and we know that it's the right hand. So left is over here and right is over here. In this case, we're looking at the back of the hand from the top, and we know it's the left hand. This one's the right hand from the same point of view from the top, the outside. And we're looking at the palm again from the left-hand side. So it's going to get a little bit harder as we go through the games, and it's going to happen with most of the games here, where it'll get a little bit different. We're going to see it from different points of view. In this case, we've still got to figure out whether it's a left or a right hand, and that was a right hand. Now we've got a left one, and then a right hand again that's open. Right hand one more time. We've got 8 different pictures we've got to get through this level. And then right hand again. That one's a left hand, but we're looking at the palm. And a left hand again. And it's given us the flower to show that we've succeeded. So we're on to level 3 now. It's getting a little more difficult. Got the left hand, right hand, and it's a left hand, but it's looking from the upside. It's not the way that we're used to looking at it if we put our own hands out front. And right hand. So now the palms are clenched up in a fist, so we can't see all of the fingers. We can still figure out what hand it is by where the thumbs are. And that's a left hand from underneath. And then we've got a right hand that's mostly closed. A right hand that's completely closed from the outside. A left hand from looking from underneath. And a twill on top. Left hand again. We've got the thumb on this side, so we know it's the left hand. And then the thumb, we're comparing it to the inside and outside of the fingers. So we've got a left hand again. And this will be a right hand, but upside down and almost inside out. So right hand pointing down as if someone walking behind somebody. That's a left hand, sorry, a right hand, but whereas if they've got a bench, they're fist clenched and walking towards us. Okay, left hand. And left hand again, but from behind. And that wraps up this one. We've gone all the way around, and now we're back to number 1. So I'll come back to relative maze. and then skip in several levels. So in this case, we've got to turn left, walk down the corridor, take the first left, take the right, then go straight ahead, take the left, and then down the long hallway until the door. So going straight through, taking the left, going straight again. Whoops, sorry, no, going straight. I'm taking a wrong turn again, then down the long hallway. So in this case, we've got to go through, go straight through, then take a left-hand turn, then take a right-hand turn, continue into the corridor, and go left. And we get down to the bottom right of the map. If we were using a map where this was always pointed north, it'd be north up the top, as the maps usually are oriented, south down the bottom, east over to the right-hand side, and west over to the left-hand side. So I'm going to have to go to the northwest edge, move along, and for the next one, I'm going to the shoes on. So we should just be able to walk straight ahead, turn left, and then walk down the corridor. This one, we're going to have to turn it around, walk through, turn left, left again, and left one last time. So if I turn right and go down this way, I'm not sure if it's a bit bigger maze now that I can't quite do it easily. I'll turn left again and then follow the corridors along. This time, I'm going to see about following as close as I can down the bottom. I'm going to go up only when I have to, and then work our way through and get to the door. I'll do this last one and then swap on to another activity. So turn right. I'm going to stick near the bottom as well, so turn right. I'm not sure I'm taking the right directions at the moment, but I'm getting closer. Turn left, go up to a long corridor. Again, turning right, going down south. I was going south as long as I can. And then now we're at the exit. So there's still quite a few more levels and maps to do, but I can come back and do that later in a separate video. So I'll defavorite the ones that I've done so far, just so that I know and I don't go back and do them twice. So the little sun icon up here is options that I can do and mark them. So coming up, I'm going to do one more about near and far, and then go into some positions. Then go into a programming maze. There's some options to do with associating words of numbers and the numbers. Categorize a sliding block puzzle, and then stuff to do with clock as well as a larger map. So let's get rid of that one as well. So this is near and far. We've got to find the strawberry by clicking on the blue fields. So a hexagon here is a six-sided shape. And the fields become redder as we get closer. So I'm going to start over here on the left-hand side. So it's yellow. And in the middle, it's orange. So I've got a bit more red into it. And then I click over here. So we're back to yellow again. So it's going to be somewhere around here. It's yellow here. No, there we go. It's getting redder now. And there we go. We found the strawberry. I'll start over the right-hand side this time. It's pretty yellow. And then over the left, we've got a shade of orange. We're back to yellow, so it should be up here. If we're playing a game, a children's game called Hotter and Colder, we're getting hotter. Someone who's blindfolded has to find something with other people telling them based on where they are, whether they're getting hotter or colder. and the item would be, you describe it as very hot. So now it's green. It looks like we're further away than yellow. So I'm going to try over here into orange and then red. It's a bit more orange, so we've gone further away. I think it's going to be very close to here. There we go, strawberry. And now we've found it. You could say hit jackpot. So green, yellow, and luckily found it over here without taking too many guesses. So it looks like I've gotten very close to it straight away and very lucky with that one. So I don't know where these are. I've just gotten lucky twice in a row. So a green, still green, bit yellow, and got lucky again. So green, orange, should be yellow. I'm going to work this way from the outside now. So it should be in roughly the section. And then we're getting red, gotten very red. I'd call it very hot. And then it looks like red hot. It's there for the strawberry. I'm going to start at the outside and see where we go. Make it so blue, green, bright green. I'm not too sure what to call that one, but I'd call it green and yellow. And red hot. We've got a lot more hexagons here. Wow, it's going to be up in the top left corner. I think it's going to be this one. Those two were a lot redder than the other one, so green, yellow, green, bright yellow, red. Yeah, we're hot. Colder, colder, and red hot, jackpot. We've got it, that one. So I'll swap onto another game after this one. So we're very, very cold, getting warmer. Warmer still warmer. Hot. Red hot. Should be here back to cold, cool, cold, well off the track. And there we go. There's the strawberry. So that should cover near and far. If I'm far away from an area, it'll be blue, and there's a lot of squares to cover before it gets to it. But if I'm very near, it'll start getting red. I'll swap into positions for this one. So at the moment we have a child and a box. We want to know where the child is relative to the box. So the options we've got are they're beside it, above it, or behind it. Because we can only see the bottom part, so the top part of the kit, we know that they're behind it. So I'm going to lock that option in. Now the child is standing above the box. We can see all of them and only part of the box. Looks like the lid's been removed and people can now crawl inside of it. So they're not in front of it, otherwise they'd be here. They're not behind it, otherwise we'd only see part of it. And now they're inside of it. We've got three options again: in front of, under, or beside. I'll take the beside one. When someone stands beside something, we don't know which side they're on, just that they're on the side of it. At the moment, the child's now in front of the box, they're not under it, and they're certainly not above it. Now they're underneath it. We've lifted it up above the head, and if the box was to be lowered down, they'd be fully inside the box. Now I've got to select an image where the child is under the box. Select this one. Of course, this one they're standing in front of, and this one they're behind. With the child inside the box, they're above, behind, and now they're inside. And they're above the box here. Got to find out where they're beside it, which select which option. Now they're in front of, and then they're beside it. You could technically say that the child is beside the box if they're in front of it, but we've got other options and words to describe it in, so this is what we're going to choose. The child is behind the box. So they're below it there and inside of it there. And now they're in front of it. So this one's child is behind it. This one is underneath it. This one's in front. Child is above the box. So now we've got other options that specifically say whether they're to the left or the right of it. I'll carry on and use those ones. In this case, remembering the left hand is over on the over on this side of the screen, and right hand is over on this side of the screen. The child is on the right side of the box. They're still above it. Behind. In front of. And inside of. To the left of. Select the image where the child is in front of the box. So that one there. The child is under the box. Where they're inside the box. Where the child is at the right of the box. The child is behind, so we can't see the bottom part of them. The child is above. They're standing entirely on top of it. The child is to the left of the box. And now we're back to the beginning. So that finishes off the positions part of it. I'll go into the digits one because there's one with the programming maze that I will come back to afterwards. So in this one, we're going to associate learn digits by counting their corresponding value. So we've got 1 as the number 1 here, just only one of them, 2, and 2 of the circles filled in, and 3, and all of the circles filled in. So with the digit displayed on the screen, fill the corresponding number of circles and validate my answer. So just with 1, click OK. And with 2, select 2, put 2 of them, fill in 2 of the circles and select them as well. So it doesn't matter whether we choose which we choose, as long as we've got the correct number of circles filled in. In this case, it doesn't matter. I have to fill all of them in. So now we've got 5 spaces we can fill in, and I have to fill in number 2, and just 1 this time, and 4. So I'm going to put that in 2 groups of 2. Choosing 2, and 3, just 1, and 4. In this case, I'm going to put them all together on the left-hand side, and filling in all 5 circles to go through. So in this case, every time we go up a level, we get some more numbers, but I'm going to go to the end and do one of everything rather than step through all of the numbers. So I just did 3, then 4 circles. For 6, I'm going to go 3 groups of 2. Just 1, put it in the middle. For 0, we can't fill in any. We've got to leave them all empty. 5, the ones in the middle. 2, I'm going to put 1 on the left-hand side, 1 on the right-hand side. 8, I'm going to go 2 groups of 4, leaving the middle one empty. 7, put in 5, and then put 2 more as well. For 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need to fill in all of them. And we're back to the beginning. This then brings us to quantities. So a quantity is requested as if we're working in a shop, and we have to get the people the number of oranges that they've requested. Arrow allows to select up to 10 oranges. So next. drag the arrow to select the number of oranges, and then drag the selected oranges to the empty area. Repeat these steps until the number of oranges corresponds to the requested quantity. Then click on OK to validate your answer. Okay, we'll start. So the person's requested 2 oranges, then I drag that number up, and they've got the amount they're after. So the person's requested 3 oranges, so I can give them 3 individual oranges, or I can give them one lot of 3. I've requested 3 again, so I'll give them one lot of 3. And 2. 4. Just 1. And 3. I'm going to skip some levels here, so that way we can start working into the teens, the numbers above 10. So I've got 5 oranges selected, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. So I move 10 oranges up, and then I give them 3 more. I can give them 13. To give them 16, I give them 10, and then I give them another 3, and another 3 to give them 6 plus 10, 16, 15, 10, and then 5, and it's 19. So start off with 10 and then go with 9. $11 is 10 and 1. And now we're getting a fair bit bigger. So we've got 45. So 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 5. Now I've got 23. So I give them 10, 20. So this number here is how many lots of 10 we give them. And this number here is how many lots of 1 we give them. So 3 lots of 1 and 2 lots of 10, 23. I'll just pause for a moment here and say counting in English is a little bit weird. It's not like, say, Roman numerals, where it follows a specific pattern every single time, particularly it does with the numbers. But the words associated with the numbers, they don't start following a pattern until you get to 20s. So you've got the numbers of 1 to 10, and then you can have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20. Then, so the 10s is a little bit weird and different. Once you get into the 20s, it then starts becoming the same. And so you got 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So we're back as if we're counting the numbers just without any 10s. 26, 27, 28, 29, and then 30. And 30 and up to 99, 30 up to the 90s, it's exactly the same as 20s. So 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. It's only the 10s that are a bit weird with the 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So let's take some of those back and then go back to give them the 25 that we've asked for. So what I'm saying is, if you can count to 30, it gets much easier. It's a bit confusing around the 10s, but that's right. Once you get to 30, it's downhill from there. 20, 30, and 40. And so we've got just 22 this time. So 10, 20, 2, And now we're back to the beginning. I'm going to go back and replay the last level and just for a bit more to reinforce it. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, and 48. So we're 2 shy of 50. And the numbers we get when we replay the level are going to be separate. They're randomly generated each time, so it's going to be different. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 43, 29. So put 20 out there and then put a 9. 27, so we'll put 2 lots of 10 up first, and then 7. And the last one, 47. And we're done. Following on from the quantities, I'll do money. So if I wanted to pay with cash for something, this simulates the coins or the notes to pay the exact change needed for it. If I went into a shop and I had more notes than what was needed, then they should give me change. But in this exercise, we are going to pay with the exact amount. We get to calculate the change afterwards. So for $3 for the carrot, we give them a $2 coin and a $1 coin. So $4 for the orange, we'll give them 2 $2 coins. So I could have given them a $5 note and gotten 2 change, but this exercise wants us to give us exact change. So $6 for a vase. With the 2 $2 coins, I can't quite make it up exactly, so I've got to use the $5 note and a $1 coin. Similar to this with $8 for the light bulb. 5, 2, and 1 giving us 8. So a $9 light bulb, maybe it's a bit longer lasting, or I can remotely control it or something like that. $16 for what should be, I'm guessing it's a toy van. Now there's actually a few different ways we can do this one. I could give them a $10 note and then put a $5 note and then 1, or I can go for 3 $5 notes to give me 15 and 1 to make it 16. $27 for a bike, 10, 20, 25, 26, 27. $32 for a bike, 20, 30, and 2. $81 for a car, to use a $50 note, 20, let's get rid of the 2 5s, and a $1 coin as well. Now we're buying a few different items and we've got to add them up and give the correct change. So $13 plus 3 plus 1, so that's 4. 13 and 4, 17. So $10, $5, and $2 coin. Now there's a bowl or an egg cup, a pencil, and a car or toy car. So 14 and 6 gives us 20, and $9 gives us 29. So 10, 20, 5, 27, 29. So this one, we've got 4 items now. So the $15 and $14 will add together to get 29. And make that add 11 to it to round it up to 30. And then add 10 to it to give us 40, $43 in total. I'm just going to go the simple option of using the 2 20s. And then let's use the a one and a $2 coin. So 31 and 29 is $60, $74 for the second car as well, and that means $82 in total for the vase as well as the lamp. So a 50, a 20, a 10, and 2. So now I've got just a single $82 item. I'll make the same amount again. And now we're up into the hundreds. So once we go above $99. We start using an extra digit for hundreds. And this is $223. So $100 note, two 50s, gives us 200, and then 20, and $3 as well, 223. Now we're at 499 for the bike. So 100, 200, 300. Got to bring one of those hundreds back and use a $200 note. So we've got 400 there. 50, 70, 80, 90, 95, 97, and 99. 499. 679, so this could be a rail van. 200, 400, go with 600 and go direct, so I don't need the 100 anymore. So 50 and 20 gives us 670. Then 5, 2 gives us 677, 78, $679. And as we keep going along, it's going to get a bit more complex. So I'm going to go away from there. But if you pay a cashier more, then you should expect to be able to get some change. Take a bit of a change from that, and now we've got to play a memory game. So in this case, we've got a digit, in this case 5, and then the word for that number, in this case 3. Got to guess and match up the letters and the numbers. So we've got 3 there, and then the symbol for the number 3 as well. We've got 5 and the number 5 as well. So it doesn't matter what number this is. 0 and the word for it as well, they're going to be the same. So the word 6, digit 7, the word 7, and we'll match the digit 7, and the digit 6 and 6, and 9 and 9 as well. So get a few more cards to make it a little bit harder. 2 and 1, 5 and 2. So let's get 2 and 2 out of the way, make it a little bit easy for ourselves. 8 and 8. Got a bit lucky there. I think that's the 1. And I think that means 2. So I've got a 50-50 chance whether... No, it's a 5. But I still knew we hadn't seen the 9, and it had to be one of those last 2 as well. So 18, 14. So 14 and 14. 10, 19. Let's match the 2 10s up. 15 and 18. It's 2 15s. 19s. And 18s. I think we've got a few more cards now. So 1 and 6. 16, so they're 2 different altogether. So we've got 1 and 1. 5 and 7. 15, no. Try and go through methodically. Sorry, so this one's 6 and that one's 6, so we'll get rid of those 2 next. 17. 16's out of the way. 5 and 5. 13. 17's close together. 15's. Right. So we'll get the 13's out of the way. And then 7. bring us back around again. I can replay that, but I think I'd be going a bit too far at the moment, so I'll just mark the money one as complete. Go into the programming maze. So we're going to go back and cover material covered with the relative maze, as well as some of the countings. So there are 3 instructions which you can use to lead tux to the fish and move forward, turn left, and turn right. The execution of the code starts here. Click on any instruction in the area and add it to the main function, and their instructions will execute until there's none left, or until a dead end, or when tux reaches the finish. Okay. So I've got to reach the fish in less than 5 instructions. So I'm just going to get tux to walk forward and then walk forward again. So 1 step forward, 2 steps forward, and reach the fish. It will get a little bit harder, but that's all right. So 1 step forward, turn left. So now I'll be facing this way. 2 steps forward, and then turn right. And the last thing we've got to do is to walk forward one last time. So forward, left, forward, right, forward. Now I've got to reach the fish in less than 15 instructions. First thing is turn left, then go forward, right, 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, right again, face this way, 1 step, 2 step, turn right, and then 1 last step. So turn left, walk forward 2 steps, turn right, walk forward 3 steps, turn right, forward 2 steps, right again, and 1 last step. In this case, we've got an option that we can walk left or right. I'm just going to get tux to go right, and we've got to reach the fish in less than 15 instructions. So first is a step forward, then turn right, 2 steps forward, turn left, step 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, left, and 1 last step as well. There's a few different ways we can go, but I'm just going to go down to the south or the bottom and then walk across and then go up. So turn right, walk forward 2 steps, turn left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, left, and then 1 final step forward. So now we've got a procedure, which is a reusable set of instructions that can be used in the code by calling it where it's needed. So in a computer program, it might be a function of saying print some text to a screen, or write a file, or encrypt this data. Whatever this data is, we're going to use the same key and method to encrypt it. So to switch between the procedure area and the main function, to add your code, click on the procedure, the main function label. Okay, got it. So we've got the there or there. Now I've got to reach the fish in less than 8 instructions. So I'm going to make a procedure saying walk forward 2 steps and then turn right. So that way in the main function, I can call the procedure to walk forward 2 steps, turn right, and then I can call it again, walk forward 2 steps, turn right, and then finally in the main function, I'm going to say walk forward 2 steps. So 2 steps, so here in the procedure, and then turn right. So the procedure's done once the first time, and then there's the second time, and then there's some other functions again. So there'll be some more if that wasn't too clear. In this case, I'm going to have the procedure of walk forward 2 steps. And then I'm going to say turn right. No, I'll get rid of the turn right. Try it without. So we're going to type in the main function procedure and walk forward 2 steps. We're going to turn left and walk forward 2 steps. Turn right. Walk forward 2 steps. Turn right again. And the last time, walk forward 2 steps. So forward, left, right, forward, right, forward. Off we go. Okay. wasn't sure if I'd have to run out of steps and try and get a bit tricky by having a procedure do a turn as well, and then for one of the turns sort of undo the turn. So reach the fish in less than 13 instructions. So I'm going to call the procedure of walk forward, turn left, walk forward, turn right. So in this case, we call the function once, we're there, twice, we're there, 3 times, we're there. And I'll just do that now, just to show what's going on. Last time, go through, walk in there, and we need the last step in the main function to walk forward again. So that should get us all the way there. We've got a simple procedure of effectively move up and to the right. So in this case, we've got 15 instructions. I'm going to use this to go 1, 2, 3, walk forward 3 steps. And I'm going to get a bit tricky and say walk forward 3 steps and then turn right. So I can then use that same there and use the same here. So for the first thing we've got to do is turn left, walk forward, turn right, walk forward. No, don't have to walk forward there. So if I turn left, walk forward, turn right, and I walk 1, 2, 3, turn right, and walk 1, 2, 3, turn right. So I can call that function straight again. And then I think I've got to walk forward one more time here. There's a manual instruction here, and then I can call the function again to go 1, 2, 3, turn right. And then that last step I should be pointing here and then go forwards again. So I've done a bit of programming before and this is coming to me. So people, if they were playing this themselves, I imagine there'd be a lot more trial and error going through. So I'm just focusing on the navigation part of this with the directions of forwards, left and right, rather than the detailed parts of the program. So if the procedure stuff isn't, you're not quite getting it, then don't worry too much about it. But if procedures along the lines of, I could tell someone to go to the next street and you might walk 100 meters or you might walk 250 meters, where you're just going to keep walking until you get to the next street. And that way, when people give directions, it could be like, go down to this street, turn right, keep going down the street till the second left, take that one, and then keep walking down that one, and it's the third right. So you'd know, be able to go through it and take steps from that. I think this is going to get us to be a bit tricky. So I'm going to skip this one and move on to the next one. And it's now got a loop. It's a sequence of instructions that are continually repeated the number of times defined by the number inside of it. So to switch between the loop area and the main function area, click on the loop or the main function label. Okay. So reach the fish in less than 6 instructions. First thing I'm going to do is turn left. And I'm going to say loop twice, walk forward. And here I'll turn right. And then get it to loop again. So that's calling the loop. Turn left, 2 steps forward, right, and 2 steps forward. Reach the fish in less than 5 instructions. So I'm going to, we call a loop, we're going to I'm not too sure how this works, so I'm going to try it and see if I can do the loop through twice, which means that it should end up 1, 2, and there. And that should Let's see if this works then. So we've got it to turn right on when it gets to the fish, but yeah, it'll work. Okay. In this case, the first thing we'll do is turn left and then point down there the steps and go onto the loop of walk forward once, twice, 3 times. And turn right. Once, twice, and then 3 to get it to loop 3 times. So that should get us. Oh, I missed the part of where we call the loop in the main function. Three times, I should be able to walk forward and then turn right. And it's not going to work because I haven't called the loop up here. That's right. I said it would have a bit of trial and error into it. So, and I remember a sign that said, if you've never made a mistake, you've never tried anything new. So mistakes aren't bad. I'm going to wrap this section up here. I didn't mean for it to be sort of a detailed part of programming, but just a applied navigation. And related to that, we'll go back to continue on with navigation and go with a game called path decoding. So we want to get tux from current location to the flag using the directions that we've been provided. So if I go to the east, north, north, east, north, east, east, south, east, and then 4 souths in a row. So we might have been directions to go through here. It might have been a bit more complex, but we'll get there in the end. So west, south, west, south, west, west, north, north, east. Sorry, north again. We took a wrong turn. East, north, east, east, and then east again to the flag. Just do one more, but make it a little bit more complicated. So north, 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 west, north, west, north, north, east, north, north, east, east, north again, east, east, south, 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 east, east, north, north, east, east, south, 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 west, south, west, west, south, 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 west, and west. That was pretty much taking the scenic route through the park, I guess. And that was the directions with north, east, south, and west. So they were absolute directions. I'm going to swap into relative ones, where the directions at the moment are to walk forward, turn right, walk forward, and then turn left. So we're back to forwards, lefts, and rights, which can get a bit confusing if the arrow is pointing up. And then we go turn left, walk forward, and then turn right. So forward, 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 right, left, forward, left, forward, forward, left, right, left, forward, left, right, forward, right, and straight ahead. So I've got a few errors there, but I'll do one last one. So forward, right, left, right, forward, right, left, forward, forward, left, forward, left, right, forward, forward, left, forward, left, right, forward, right, left, and then one last step of forward. So I won't carry on with that one, but the idea being you could give someone directions for moving left, right, and forward, or how to get from one place to another. I'll just touch on this one as a sliding block game, so moving some things around and give a few more words description. So in this case, the goal of every one of these levels, and I'll just click through a few to show you what to see, we're likely to see, is to get the red car out of the driveway. So I can't move the yellow truck back, I've got to move it down to the bottom to get it to free. In this case, I can't move it by itself, I've got to move something else first. So move the blue car all the way back, move the red truck all the way back, and then I can get the red car out. In this case, move the green car and then the blue car and the yellow truck out of the way. Then move the pink car down the bottom, back the red truck up, put the green and the orange cars out of the way. I'm going to move the lumber truck, just to be sure, then the red truck, green truck, and then yellow and blue, and get them out of the way. In this case, it looks like I've got to move the red truck back to temporarily block it, and then I can bring it back down to free it up, and then I can get the car out. In this case, I should be able to, drive the car straight out after shuffling a few of them around. I think I'm going to have to move the red car forward here. Can move the orange one out of the way, and then the others be moved around. And as we keep progressing, it gets harder as we go. So I've got to move the red car back and then green out of the way to get the orange one, and then the yellow one free. I'll do this last one in this level. So just wanted to touch on some of the cars and the positions. If the car's going forwards, backwards, we don't have any steering here, but if it turned left, it would be able to turn left and go around here, turn right and go down. And I'll go back to the main one. So that's pretty much all of the path decoding ones, almost everything. Now I'll go back to give Tux the change. So Tux is, now we're the cashier, Tux is the purchaser. Tux has given me a $5 note and bought a $2 item, so I have to give Tux $3 change. Tux has given me a bit too much money, but that's all right. It's 10, could have just given me one $5 note, so I'm going to give $5 change, and then $3, giving 8 change in total for the $2 item. And similar again, $3 item with 10, so give them 7 change. $15 for 6. It's not being made easy. You know, they could just give me the 10 and I could give 4 change. So I'm going to work with that way. So here's the 4 change and here's the $5 note that I've just been given. So now with the $12 bike, I only need to give 3 change. So I only need to give 9 change for this one. And $20 for a $2 orange. 15 change, 17, and then 18 change. 18 plus 2 is 20. And $3 change for a $7 vase out of 10. Now he's bought 2 items totaling $6. So I've got to give $4 change. Looks like he's picked up a lunch order. So a $3 orange, then $3 in muffins, so $7 in total. From $10 needs $3 change. A $4 banana with a $20 note, that's $16 change. And $6 bottle for the $6 egg cup or bowl, $20. So I'll get $4 out, bringing it up to 10. Oh, sorry, I've miscalculated that one. So $12 in total. I need to give 8 change. So 5, 2, and 1. Purchasing 2 roses, a carrot, and a muffin. So that's $4 over here, $4 over here, $8 in total. So I need to give Tux 12 change. Buying a $31 toy and $5, which gives me, I'll give $4 out to bring it up to 35. $5 note proves 40, and then 10 brings it up to 50. So with the $50 note, I've got to give $45 change. I'll do that all in notes. Just buying 4 bits of fruit. An orange, apple. I'm thinking that's half a lemon and an orange again. I need to give $46 change. And I could have done it with coins instead of the $5 note, but I'm going to just do it quickly. So $100 with $45 purchase. I've got to give $55 change. And $13 with the $100 note. I've got to give 87 change. So 50, 70, 80, 85, 87. And 100 with 46, 52, $62, $65 total purchase. So I need to give 35 change. And I'll do this last one with $36 to $14 change. And Tux has cleared me out of coin. So I might need to close the shop for a little bit and then go to the bank to get more coins. If this is all of the money I've got in the till, if someone else came and did the exact same transaction, I couldn't give them the correct change. There's nothing stopping me from giving them more change if I was short. The boss might be unhappy, but I'd need to get some more coins in the till if it's... And there might be a change machine in store, or I could ask one of the neighboring businesses if they could, if they had change as well. So go into logical associations with this one. And the way this game works is that whatever we've got on line up the top, it matches the one on the bottom, and I've got to figure out what the associated item is. So in this case, we've got cherries. I'm thinking these are grapes. I'm not sure what they are, but I'm going to call them grapes. And then bananas and lemons. So anytime I see a grape, I should go for a lemon. So in this case, I'm going to click on lemon, lemon, and then for cherries, the association is bananas. So for a grape, the association is grape. For banana, the association is orange. So I need two oranges and then 2 grapes to correctly complete the pattern. So an apple is a grape, but a grape is a pineapple. So let's get the grape, pineapple, grape, apple. So the pineapple is associated with a cherry. The cherry is associated with a lemon. The banana is associated with a pineapple. And pineapple is associated with cherries. So for orange, got an apple, lemon, that's a grape. Cherries are orange, and an orange is an apple. And as we play through this, it will get harder. That's okay. So pineapple is cherries, grape is banana, lemon is grape, and pineapple is cherries. So we've got a pear, cherries, and then cherries. So the apple, some associations weren't needed. So the orange to the grape, we don't need to know about for this rest of this puzzle. All I need to know is that it's a lemon, orange, lemon, orange. And it should get harder soon. So pineapple, banana, pineapple, banana. It's just kicked up a notch. I need orange, and then cherry, lemon, and back to cherry. So lemons are associated with bananas. Bananas are with lemons. And here with orange. And to lemon to finish it off. A pear, pineapple, lemon, and pear. I'll skip ahead. Yeah, well, I won't keep carrying on with that one. So I just wanted to use the game to introduce some fruits as well. I figured if people going through and eating, they'd want to know what the words were. And let's go through the clock. If you're going to be traveling somewhere, you might need to be somewhere on time. So for a standard clock face, an analog clock rather than a digital clock, we've got a circle that's split up into 12 hours. Sometimes they're split off into 24 hours, but usually the hands will spin around 2 times in the day. 12 up the top, which is also 0 for midnight, 6 down the bottom, and set 9 o'clock. Drag the hand over to this side here and tell it it's okay. So set the time to 6 o'clock. Set the time to midnight. Set the time to 8 o'clock. I don't know whether it's in the morning or the afternoon at the moment, but that's all right. It can be either. 2 o'clock. So now we've got a minute hand as well. So if I spin that hand around, it'll slowly, the hours hand will spin that as well. So I'm going to make it 9 and then move the minutes hand around to 30 minutes. So even though the hours is split into 12 different segments, we've now got 60 segments for the minutes. So 7 hours, 30 minutes. You might typically get up of a morning at that time. So 7:30. 4:30, very early trip. You might be going somewhere internationally by that, or it's a long trip and it's going to be a very big day. Usually the sun isn't up by that time. Midnight, so 12:30. So we've got to wind the hand back for this one. It was about 12:50. Might be a very late night if you stayed up that time, or very early morning. So 3:30. And now we're getting more difficult. So 2:15. Also with 30. Now the clocks, so you might say to someone, I'm going to meet you at 2:30, which is the half beyond 2. Or I might say I'm meeting someone at 2:45. So 15 minutes or a quarter of an hour until 3. But I'll just stick with what we've got for the moment. If you still have questions, leave a comment. I'll see what I can do to address it. So 1:15. So move it around to 1 and then move the hour hand to 15. 6 hours and 15 minutes. So 6, 6:15. So 12:15. 12, and I'll wind the clock back to the 12:15. Then 4:15. Then 6:45. So 6:45. then 1:45 or 12:45. 8:45, so we might start at work at 9 o'clock and plan to get there at 1:45 in case there's traffic or something along those lines. And 3:45. And 9:45, so we might have an office meeting start at 9:45. Everyone turns up, and I might check a few emails and go through and have it set to everyone as the first thing of the day. So now we're dealing with minutes past the hours, specific minutes, not just quarters or halves anymore. So it's 3 hours and 4 minutes, 3:04. And 8:35, so set the hour hand to here, and if I spin it around this way, I wind the clock back, but spin around forward, so 8:30, 8:35. And 12:07, so I wouldn't say 0:07, I'd always say 12, but the clocks might say 0, so 11:22. And most clock ends won't have the individual minutes in there, so you've got to guess where it is, but usually have the numbers 1 to 12 written on it. So 4, it's almost 5 o'clock, 4:58, that's what it was set to, 4:57 now. Might be time to go home and feeling like the clock is just dragging backwards. So now we've got 3 separate hands. We've got the hour hand, the minutes hand, and I'm pretty sure this is seconds. So yeah, if I move the seconds one whole rotation, it then goes through a minute. So let's set it to 11 and we'll go with 12. So I've got to wind it forward to 11:13 and 13 seconds. So it's gone forward an hour by mistake to 12:13, but I've just wound it back to 13. So 9, then 52 and 45 seconds. So I'll drag that up and then we should be right to go. You normally wouldn't set your hand watch to be this precise. You might have in military ways to synchronize watches, but then they might just say at the time isn't it this, when I call it the time will be this, but day to day going to this level of detail shouldn't be required. 7:38 and 44 seconds. So 5:26 and 32 seconds. Oops, I've got the hour hand messed up, so I'm going to wind the minutes back an hour. So 10, I'll call it 10:09, or 9 past 10, and 39 seconds. And it looks like it's just changed, yeah, so we've lost the hour hand. So I'm not going to keep going through all of the games. I'm just going to do this one to say, I'll set to 11:50 and 25 seconds. So there would be the 12 there. So it's almost midday or midnight. And then as we progress through this game, if we were to keep playing it, it would get, the face would change and we'd get to see different things. So it might just be markers here for each of the minutes with the counts through. So that's the time of the day. Move on to the times of the year and the month. So what we've got is a calendar with a time of the week. So 7 days in each week. It is arguable what an official start of the week is, but the first day of the working week is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So some people might consider Monday to be the first day of the week. Other people might consider Sunday to be the first day of the week. And that you've also got Saturday and Sunday are the typical 2 days off that people would have if they work office jobs or so. Some people might work as a police or ambulance and they wouldn't have typical hours, so they might work a rotating roster. So select the 20th, which is a Tuesday. Select the 23rd, it's a Friday. 16th, also a Friday. 11th is a Sunday. And 28th, a Wednesday. And the 1st is a Thursday. So which day of the week is the 12th of this month? We've got the options here of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So here we don't have the whole names of the words written out, but we know it's Mon. So Monday. Which day of the week is the 4th? So I'll click the 4th and Sunday. 22nd. It's a Thursday. The 28th. It's a Wednesday. 20th is a Tuesday. 16th is a Friday. The 10th is a Saturday. So I've now got to select a Tuesday between the 8th and the 16th of a given month. So we've got the 8th here and the 16th. So there's only one Tuesday I can select, which is on the 13th. And this will come in handy if you've got to make appointments and bookings. Let's say to see a doctor or a dentist. Certain doctors might only work Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So select a Friday between the 20th and the 25th. The 20th, 25th, Friday, 23rd. Saturday between 13th and 23rd. 17th. Thursday between 26th and 31st, so the 29th. A Sunday between the 5th and the 17th. A Monday between the 1st and the 7th, so that's the first Monday of the month. And select a Wednesday between the 15th and 22nd. Select the third day after the 27th. So that's the 27th, first day after it, second day after it, third day after it. The fourth Sunday of the given month. So first, second, third, and fourth. The second day before the 15th. So 15th, first day before it, and the second day before it. Fifth Thursday of the given month. So some months they will usually be, our calendar is a bit weird. Some months have 31, some months have 30, some have 28 days. So each month doesn't always have it. Sometimes there'll be 5 Thursdays in a month and sometimes there won't. But there's always going to be 4 weeks in a month. Select the day 1 week after, 13th of the month. So that's the 13th and the 20th is a week after that. Find a month starting a Monday and having 31 days. Okay, so let's go to the beginning of the year. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So I got to find a month, any month starting on a Monday and having 31 days. This will do. Find the month starting a Thursday and having 28 days. Well, that narrows it right down. Unless people want it to be tricky. Some people, there's a problem, puzzle, and say, how many months have 28 days? Well, you could say they all do. But I'm pretty sure the puzzle here is that find the month that has exactly 28 days. Find a month starting with a Saturday So September. Find a month between June and August. Well, there's only going to be one, so we've got June here, and then there's August 2 months after it, and July is that month. And a month having 30 days, so let's start at the beginning. There's a rhyme. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except February alone, that has 28, except in the case of a leap year, where it has 29. And I think it might be another rule. So if it's a leap year, but it's also 1,000, such as 2,000, then it gets to be a leap year again. But I'm not too sure about that. Back to the problem at hand. A month having 30 days. So this one here, April, sounds good. Find the 5th Sunday of October in the year 2017. So we're in 2018 at the moment. Well, the calendar's in 2018. So October 2017, the 5th Sunday. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. The 5th is the 29th. 4th Tuesday of July in 2018. Okay, July. 1st Tuesday, 2nd Tuesday, 3rd, 4th. 2nd Friday of December 2017. 2nd Friday is the 8th. 3rd Tuesday in September 2017. 1st, 2nd, 3rd. 3rd Thursday, sorry. I misread that as Tuesday. 1st Monday of January 2019. So go all the way through the year. 1st Monday of January 2019 is it. Whoops. Went back to Monday being the first day of the week. Find the 1st Monday of August 2018. I won't make that same mistake twice, at least not today. Find the 5th Sunday of April 2018. So the 29th. The 3rd Friday of March 2019. The 15th. Find the 2nd Wednesday of February 2019. 1st Wednesday, 2nd Wednesday. So the sports competition was held the last Friday of September 2017. Select the date the competition on the calendar. So straight away, first thing to do, go to September. Last Friday of September, the 29th. Braille Day is celebrated a day before January 5. Find the date of Braille Day 2018. So January 5, one day before it, it's going to be January 4th. International Women's Day celebrated 2 days before March 10th. Find the date of International Women's Day in 2018. So March 10th, and 2 days before it, Thursday the 8th. Mark's birthday is on November 4th. In 2017, his party was exactly 2 weeks later. Find the date of his party in 2017. All right, so November the 4th, Saturday. 2 weeks after that is the 18th. Human Rights Day is celebrated 5 days after December 5th. Find it in Human Rights Day in 2017. Okay, so December 5th, 2017, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. And that wraps up the calendar module. I was looking to do one with construction, add a bit of commentary to it as well. So we've got to rearrange the puzzles on the left-hand side using the crane to match the puzzles on the right-hand side. So I'll move the light bulbs down to the bottom right and then move the letter A up to the top left. The red square goes down and the blue square goes up. The red triangle all the way to the right and the purple diamond up to the top left. Bring tux to the bottom right and the water drop up one and left one. So now there's 4 light blue water drops and then a big dark blue water drop. Move the B block down, A block up to the top, and then the light bulb over to the right. The blue square has to go to the bottom and the B all the way to the left. Purple diamond to the top. The other 2 were already in place. So tux has got to come down 1, the drop up 1, and left 3. So we've got a single drop here. So I'll move the dark blue one first, and move the single light blue drop, and then there's 4 drops that I've got to move to the bottom. It's gotten a little bit harder now. We don't have the grid, but that's okay. That looks like it's 1 square from the right and in the middle. And A to the below it and the B above. So they both look to be on the middle with the empty square in the middle and the B all the way down the bottom right. The green diamond over to the right, the red square all the way across, and the blue square up on the top right. The red triangle down to the bottom right. Bring the yellow one back where it was, or close to it, and the purple diamond down the bottom as well. I'm not exactly sure the positions here. I think they're right, so if tux to it there, they're pretty much in the middle now, but a little bit higher up to the top. Then move the dark blue drop, and then put the light blue drops down 1 and to the right 1. So move the blue square under the A. Bring the B up to where it is, the light bulb, so on the row below. Now I've got 4 blocks to sort out as well. Move the B across. Sorry, I think it's 5. It's certainly 5 to sort out now. So getting a little bit harder each time we go. And that should match it. So red triangle over here, 1 in, the yellow triangle 1 square above it. Move the red square up to the top row and most a little bit off to the right. And the purple diamond and the green diamond into a bit more in the middle. So I'll put the water drop here and the diamond above it. It looks to be the right spot for the yellow triangle. Put the red triangle next to the green diamond and bring tux down into the middle on the bottom. The 4 dots are in the right spot already. I'll move this one into the right spot. That's on the same height as it. Move the yellow triangle up. Bring tux up to the top row. The purple diamond to the bottom. And then the red triangle up to the top. So now we've got, it starts giving us blocks with letters on it that makes words. Making hat. Air. Hat. Up in the top right. Big. Which is larger. So we had small blocks earlier and now we've got larger blocks where smaller they would have I think 5 or 6 rows high. Now we're back to 3. So eat. The end of a very long day. Keen to eat. You might catch a bus to school or for a long trip. Box. If you're going to pack up and move from one place to another, you might put all of your stuff into a box. For breakfast, you might have some fried eggs. A lot of people have pets, and a popular one is a dog. Day is the time where you can see the sun, or the sun makes things bright, which is the opposite of night. Car. A car can take a few people from place to place. Fun. The children had a lot of fun playing down at the park. And red, a colour, but the blocks are bluish colour. Yes means that you want something to happen. Someone might ask you if you wanted to sugar in your coffee, and you'd say yes if you did. And said no, the person shouldn't add any sugar. So arm is a body part. It attaches your hands to your body. Ice is something that will help keep things cold. You might go camping and take a esky or a chili bin with ice in it. Your grandparents could be pretty old. Sporting team was very glad to get the win if they scored more points than the opposition. I just noticed as well that the left side and right side are a little bit offset now. So the right side's a little bit lower than the left. That's okay, we can deal with that. And they're matched up the same height again. So at the bottom, we've now got a bell. So parents might ring a bell if the kids are outside playing to say that dinner is ready. You go to the beach, you might play in the sand. Make a sandcastle or dig a hole. Might be asked how the food tastes, and it could be good or yummy. A hero is someone who does something very brave. A firefighter could be called a hero for going into a burning house to rescue somebody. Area. I may not be able to enter an area if I'm at risk of getting hurt. I could go into a shop and the area behind is one that the customers can't go into. So blue is a color of the ocean. Easy tasks are not difficult. You can, they're not hard to accomplish at all. You might have a jigsaw puzzle with only 10 pieces, and that could be easy compared to one with 500 pieces, and that could take a long time as well. I've also seen jigsaw puzzles where there might just be only one color, so you don't have a picture to join up, and even though that might only have a few pieces, that jigsaw puzzle might be harder to do than one with a lot more pieces. The word was just done was hour as well, time of the day. So, and give. The neighbor came over and asked if I could give them some flour. They were making a cake and didn't want to run down to the shops. I said, okay, I was happy to help them. Best. Grandmother's cooking is always the best. She usually spoils us that the parents don't let us have chocolate as much. So it's just a secret between us and Grandma. We don't tell Mum that. Food. Girl. The young woman. Song. There might be a lot of people gathering around to hear the musician's song. I know So people might go to a concert. Farm. It's a lot of animals and some food gets grown on a farm. So grain to make bread, and some animals are grown there, and vegetables as well. Well, so some people might grow vegetables in their backyard, but it's not quite a farm. So sand. So we've done these before where it was fairly easy to do. Now they've got a lot more space, so it's a bit harder. So good. I've got this, yeah, and as I said, it was a bit harder. I haven't quite lined them up right. Got it set off by 1. Someone learning a new language would need to study it. I might want to also study some other things like a chess game or something to figure out the rules and how to play it well. They're writing some notes. They might do it on a bit of paper or a notepad. When you eat fruit and vegetables, you want to get some fresh ones. Although you can have them not fresh if they've been frozen or kept in the fridge for a while. Truth. We know that some people sometimes lie and don't always tell the truth. A horse is an animal that you likely see at a farm. If we had a birthday party, a lot of people turned up, and cake with a lot of presents, the child is likely going to be happy. Green is a color of grass and trees. White, there's a part of the cooked egg that's white. Get that into the middle, off to the right hand side. A child is a young adult. It's a young human. You might get a bit concerned if you were driving along the street and you saw a child walking along by themselves. They might have gotten lost, separated from their parents. A house is a place where people live. Shape. So a few different shapes are squares, circles, rectangles, triangles. There's ways to describe different shapes of things. A hotel is a place where people stay sometimes. So if we were traveling and we wanted a bed to sleep on, we'd stop at a hotel. A shirt is a piece of clothing. And I've got to shift everything 1 square to the left. I've got it wrong. An apple is a piece of fruit. And brown is a color, so you might tree trunks would be brown, and sticks, and dirt. I can't forget dirt's brown as well. So study. Again, someone might have some exams and they want some time to study for it. Get this off to the down at the bottom. H onto the edge on the right. Haven't quite got them lined up, but we'll get there. And horse, I'll start from the right hand side and work my way across to make sure I get them all lined up this time. And we're back to the beginning. So I'll come out of this exercise. I think that means there's just one to go, which is categorization. So in this exercise, we'll start off pretty simple. So we've got to place the objects matching the green color to the right and the others to the left. So we've got a post box here. Someone's about to mail a letter, and I've got a letter as well. That one's red and that one's white, whereas the green lettuce certainly matches the color. So the lobster and the arrow are red and blue, and everything else here should be green. So a 4-leaf clover. I think these might be artichokes, I'm not sure. And a cucumber and a cactus. So even though there's a little bit of purple there and a little bit of yellow, they count as green. So place the objects matching white to the right and the others to the left. So I've got an envelope, dove, a glass, I think with some milk, or it could be water, a bit of garlic, an egg, and some paper. Kiwi fruit, the rabbit, even though the rabbit's a little bit white, to me it's mostly grey. Looks like potatoes, pumpkin, grapes, and a pink flashlight. So let's see how we go with that. Place the objects that are pink to the right and the others to the left. So strawberry or raspberry, kiwi fruit, definitely not. Mobile phone is not. Now I'm saying the hairdryer is. That's purple ink, not pink. There's a flamingo, flashlight, and a pencil. And the ladybug or beetle is not. It's red and black. So placing the red objects to the right and the others to the left. So pass a radio off to the left, some wheat, postbox, dice, lobster, beetle, and shoes. They look like snow boots or boots. Place the brown objects to the right and the others to the left. So a star, cheese, dolphin, magician's hat, looks like a CD-ROM, and a drop of water. I'm going to try the kiwi fruit as brown. Some coffee beans and a biscuit, a bit of wood and potatoes. So place the purple objects to the right and the others to the left. So I'm not too sure what that is. A bell, some grapes, an umbrella, pumpkin, magician's hat, ink. They're definitely grapes. Eggplant, magpie or crow, mobile phone, and light. Let's try the phone. Yeah, that's okay. It looked a bit dark blue to me, so I wasn't too sure. I think that's going to be grey. Try it with a black background. So I've got a tap or a faucet and a chain. Certainly not a flashlight or a card. The radio, 4-leaf clover, ink. If the rabbit wasn't white, it should be grey. The dolphin, the grey sign, and it looks to be a skateboard ramp. The orange to the right and the others to the left. So we've got an orange, a pumpkin. It looks like it might be a lemon. I'm not too sure what that is. There's a few other fruits that it could be. The potatoes. I'm going to say grapes, and mailbox. It's not. So the yellow objects to the right and the others to the left. So a bell, cheese, star, anchor, picture frame, and light bulb, all yellow. Water drop, potatoes, crow, raven, or shoes, and grapes. They should not be. The green objects to the right. Sorry, I've just got a bit of a feeling that I've done that before. Oh no. It's all the other objects that confused me. No, we have done them before. Sorry, I'll back out of this and go on to the animals. So placing the animals to the right and the other objects to the left. So we've got a tiger. So a plate of food. No, but a cow, a dog, a stack of chairs is not. Clock isn't. Man isn't. Mountainside isn't. And it looks to be a river in a forest. A duck. I'm going to go with a bull. Camel and 2 monkeys are definitely animals. So animals are living items that aren't plants. So a bus isn't. Neither is, I think it's a tuk-tuk. The milk isn't. Neither is cheese or butter. Or a lake in a valley. But bird. The apples aren't. It looks to be an opossum. Another bird. Lion. A mouse or a rat. And a pig. So a cat is. A tree isn't an animal. Looks to be a building. Mountainside. Helicopter. Jet. And plant are not. Got a Tassie devil. A bird. I think these are both squirrels. And a monkey. There might be a more specific name for each of those. But some animals you can describe them by different names depending on how one you want to go to. You might say that's a frog, but then you might say that's a particular species of a frog. And you might also say something like that's an insect, but then that's a scorpion. So I've got a ice cream, grapes, snake, car, frog, seal, building, and a lamb, a young sheep. So we've got a koala over here as well. So the tiger next to it and zebra. I'll see if I can put the... No, that's right. I was going to try and put the elephant in between the tiger and the zebra, but don't worry about it. So a bike, pumpkin, carrots, tree, donkey, and a mosquito. There's an animal as well. So place the animals on the right, the other objects on the left. So we've got an older mobile phone. It's before smartphones, some potatoes, what looks to be a hummingbird, a giraffe, anteater, an insect, I'm not too sure what type it is, but a balloon, looks to be cheese and crackers, and a bus aren't animals. So I'll bring the koala across, and the bear, and the bird. The eggs aren't animals. It depends. I'm just going with the eggs for sale. They're going to be used for cooking, but some eggs do contain animals. So we've got a tortoise, tiger, and a second tortoise as well. But a car, sandwich, and I'm calling it a fruit. I'm not sure which one's not. And we've got a cat up here in the top right. So I'm not sure what that is. It might be a squirrel. That looks to be a lyrebird. And a cow. But macaroni, mountainside, and building are definitely not animals. And that does it for animals. So yeah, you could describe a large group of animals as things of animals, but only some of them are going to be birds that can fly. And go back to food. So the things we can eat, we're going to go over to the right hand side. And the things that we can't eat, we'll go over to the left. I'm going to put the animals over to the left. Fried rice, banana cake, cactus, cheese. Looks to be a bowl of cereal without any milk. And lakeside. So food items to the right again. So they're fish that look like they're ready for sale. A hummingbird is not, but a fried egg is, as well as potato chips. A bike isn't. Some sandwiches, a hamburger, another sandwich, insect. I don't know if I'm going to go with a fork isn't a food item. A glacier and a valley. But to me, I've got to pause for a little bit and be just a bit of doubt. I'm pretty sure it's not because you can't eat it itself, but because it's used to eat for things like spaghetti. Otherwise, it's going to get very messy. I had to think about it for a little bit. So, okay. So food and ice cream, beetle, rabbit, macaroni, definitely. They look to be wraps. I'm not too sure which. A bit of cheese, camel, a bird that walks in the water, and that looks to be, not sure what food type that is. Sorry. Got a glass of milk. What might be pancakes or naan bread? An iron is definitely not food. Neither is a beetle. Though I have heard of people, when they've been traveling in other circumstances, try and use an iron to cook as they get very hot and they can heat up the food. But it's not recommended at all. As a bird, I think there's some biscuits, some pizza, that's definitely food, and a shop front. So let's try that. Food items to the right. So ice cream and a milkshake. Plate of food. But a tree, a bed, and some mountains. Definitely not. And another bit of food with a looks to be a bun as well. So it could be a English dumpling. It's something. It's a pastry. I'm not sure what. So we've got a salad as well. Some jugs of milk. A large boat is definitely not, and it's a small bird. Is not as well. So food to the right. So the eggs, cereal, fried rice, cheese. I'm going to call it banana bread, or it might be carrot cake. And I'm not sure what that is. So we've got some trees, some rocks, cactus. Looks to be a waterfall by a lake or the ocean. A bird and a moth-like insect. They won't be food. And we're back through. So I think I might have wrapped around one time too many. So placing the numbers to the right and any other object to the left. So fish is definitely not a number. Neither are some painted color. Letter M is not. Lowercase b isn't. An uppercase A or an S. So the rest of them are 0, 2, 4, 8, 10, and 12. And all of those numbers are even numbers, which means that they can, well, okay, I might have spoken a bit too soon. 0 and 2 may not be, but the rest of all of the numbers can be divided by 2 and give us a whole number. So a mosquito, definitely not. Bowl of fruit, letter H, letter Z, lowercase and uppercase. And then we've got 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. And you add 2 to get each of those numbers. So 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So I'll start off with 6, 16, a 1, Q, R, and a strawberry. They're not numbers. 2 is 0, 12, 8. M isn't, B isn't, fish, S. The colors aren't, paint colors aren't, but 10 and 4 are. And I just realized we've wrapped around. So placing the birds to the right and to the left. So this time the cow, even though it's an animal, it's not a bird, it can't fly. Then we've got a rooster that can, or a chicken. It looks to be a kingfisher, I think. A parrot, a duck, lyrebird, and I'm not sure what that is. The monkey can't fly, the cow or bull can't fly, bicycle can't, camel can't, and pencil sharpener can't as well. So I've got a duck, another bird there. They've just come in and landed. That one's sitting on the edge of a tree, and that one's walking in the ocean. So all of those should be able to fly with the phone, dolphin, donkey, elephant, dog. Even though the helicopter can fly, it's not a bird. It's not living. So smaller bird, giraffe isn't, kiwi fruit isn't, seagull is, the duck is, and some other birds. I don't think this insect can fly. The train certainly can't. Tree and some vegetables can't. Oh, let's see if it can fly. No. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't. The insect. It's telling me the insect says it can't fly. So pizza definitely not. Cheese, anteater, and rabbit. The duck, I think it's a scarlet macaw, and some other birds as well. So I've got a small bird, koala can't fly, horse can't fly, milk, but everything else should. Saying the moth. I'd have to disagree with that one. I think the moth. No, the moth is an insect. Sorry, I'm wrong. It's not about what can fly, it's about what's a bird, and a moth is an insect. Sorry, a bit confused. A hummingbird. That's an antelope, mouse, small bird. Dragonfly is not a bird. And some bottles. So a lyrebird as well, another bird, but a rabbit, clock, and bear are definitely not birds. A rat, mountainside, pig are not, but there are some other ones. I'm not sure if that's a penguin, but well, we're going for it. And a goose, pigeon, kitchen, balloon, tree, sorry, lion and tree are not. And back to the beginning. So nearly done. Vegetables. Place the vegetables to the right and the other items to the left. I think it might get a bit tricky here as to what's a vegetable and what's a fruit. Yeah, messing this around. That's right, I'll get there by trial and error. So that looks to be garlic. Bananas are definitely fruit. Small boat, or we call it a tinny, is certainly not a fruit. Cactus, it's not. Cauliflower is not. Apples certainly are. Looks to be peaches certainly are. Let's see how we're going. I'm not sure what these are, so I'm going to... Bananas. Sorry, I'll just duck ahead. So it's, yeah, vegetables, not fruit. Sorry. Also, the apples and bananas are fruits, not vegetables. And I think garlic would be don't think they are. I don't know what they are. The cactus shouldn't be edible, and I think everything else is going to be a vegetable. There we go. Okay. Vegetables to the right, so it looks like spinach. Potatoes definitely are. Birds, moth, and cheese definitely not. Radishes, I think, are... I'll risk it. Let's try everything else. Cherries, and let's try it. No, chilies are. Blueberries are not. Yep. Vegetables to the right, and the others. So let's try that. But the vacuum cleaner, pizza, barge, and kitchen utensils, definitely not. So I'm not sure what they are. I think I'm going to go with the kiwi fruit. This will come under fruit and not vegetables. And the other objects, so let's try sweet potato, lettuces or cabbages, pumpkins. That's just a bit of a tree, and I think they're mangoes, which would make them a fruit, not a vegetable. And cucumber, definitely a group of vegetables there. Maybe pawpaws, I'm not sure. But the bottles, the baked goods, and the clocks certainly are not vegetables. And for the vegetables, we're done. So shapes. Place the objects matching a circle to the right and the others to the left. So the clock's a circle, the world, the flat world is a circle, coin, circle, CD. This looks to be a cylinder, a 3D circle. Happy face is... The cards are a rectangle with rounded edges and a magician's hat. Placing the rectangles to the right and the others to the left. So a rectangle is a square, but one side's longer than the other, so it's still got 4 points. So I'm going to take those as they're squares and not rectangles. It might. Maybe a rectangle includes a square. We'll find out. But cone, pizza, I think that's a trapezoid, and then 2 cylinders. They're certainly not squares. So, okay. So rectangles. So I'll move those others across, and it looks like it's counting rectangles as squares. Thinking we've got all the ball shapes. Didn't quite read the instructions, I'm sorry. Place the trapezoid to the right and the others to the left. So that's a trapezoid. That one's a trapezoid. That's longer, but we've still got the lines coming in. So if we keep drawing these 2 sides, that eventually touch. This one's not, because it's only got 3 points as a triangle. Going with that's not. It's a rectangle. The diamond could be, but the dice is 3D. That's 3D, and that one's 3D as well. So okay. Place the objects matching a triangle to the right and the others to the left. So we've got a warning sign. A normal triangle. The triangles have 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. Stars on it. Another one. Everything else has a circle, or it has 4 sides. Place the objects matching a semicircle to the right and the others to the left. So a semicircle is a half circle. That's a full circle, but a rainbow is a semicircle. Same with the blue one and the orange, even if it is off to the side. A dice is a square. Same with the clock. We've got a full circle there, triangle, and I'm not sure what that is still, but it's a half circle shape. So place the objects matching a pentagon to the right and the others to the left. So pentagon have got 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's got 3 sides, 6 sides, 4 sides, and let's just say 9. I'm not sure how many, but it certainly isn't 5. and then squares to the right. So it looks like, well, I'm going to say diamonds are allowed. As long as they've got two that cross, they can be turned around. Circle, trapezoid, parallelogram, and rectangle. Okay. So the object's matching a cone, so a wizard's hat, bowl, half a bit of fruit. Certainly got a cone there. That doesn't shape in. It looks like it is, but it's not to go to a point, so that's why I'm dragging it over that side, because all of these will go to a point at the end of it. It's a semicircle and a dice. And a parallelogram has got two straight lines, another two straight lines, but the lines, if they keep drawing out, they don't meet. So that should be a parallelogram. That's a trapezoid. That's got more than four sides. Slice of pizza is a more similar to a cone. World, parallelogram. I think they might define rectangles as parallelograms as well. So a heptagon to the right and the other's left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides. So that one's only got 5. That one's got 6. That one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That should be right. It should be right as well. I think that's right, and that one just looks like it's got too many, so that one will have too many as well. Place the object's a cube to the right hand side, so a three-dimensional square. Those look two-dimensional, and they are longer on one side, where the cube, every side length is the same. And a rhombus is a square that seems to be squished. So it's got too many sides, too many sides. I'd call that a parallelogram, and a trapezoid. And that, so... No, okay. I'm not too sure why this one got through. A nonagon to the right, so straight away we can get rid of the dice and the parallelogram. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sides. So the stop sign, it looks like a stop sign's got 8. And the others, I'll start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Too many. Just going to roll the dice. I'm going to see whether the rest of them... No, I'm going to have to count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10. And the cuboids, so it looks like a cube but longer. I think cuboid is a general term, so it can include actual cubes, but it doesn't include cones, slices of pizza, cards, and cylinders. Not sure if the edges of this one are straight enough, but I'm gonna put it over this side and see. No, it counts. And hexagons have got 6 sides. So that one's got 5, that one's got 6. That one's got 6 as well. That's got too many. Only got 4. Only got 4. 6 and 6. Octagons with 8. So that's got too few. It's got too few. It's got 8, but it's off to the side. That's got an odd number, so you can see the flat line there, which is up with the point. So It's either 7 or 9. It can't be, should match. That's going to have too many, and I think that one's going to have too many as well. Cylinders. So I've got a traffic cone over here that's not going to count. And everything here is cylindrical. Decagon, that's got 10 sides. So that's got way too few. That's got way too few. And odd. That one's odd as well. I think that one's got an odd number as well. It looks like the straight side matches up with the point. And I'm going to try and see if all of these match up. So I just don't want to count them all. And now we're back to the beginning. So flowers. Just going to try and rip through this. So I've got an iron, a bike, flowers, camel, insect, and some different types of flowers. I'm pretty sure cactus is going to be flowers, but kingfisher bird isn't. So it looks like it's going to be a plant, but not a flower. Flowers to the right, so we've got a rose and some other flowers. But the apples, milk, mountainside, fried rice, carrot, and building is certainly not flowers. Elephant, cow, helicopter, cereal, tree, and bottles are not. Some flowers here. I'm not too sure what each type is. I haven't really had a need to know. Looks to be a sunflower though. The onions shouldn't qualify. Glass of water. A cheese sandwich, building, but the rest of them should all be flowers. So I've got another newer iron there. The other one looks pretty old. The eggs, the bird aren't, and the lion certainly isn't a flower. Chip sandwich and train in a subway, in a tunnel. That looks to be a flower that would be on a lily pad. So I've got a fork, some grapes aren't flowers, and apples as well. So just leaving 2 of the 6 items as flowers. This looks to be the opposite, where we've got more flowers than other items. That wraps up the flowers. So place the living beings to the right and the others to the left. So the balloon isn't, the air conditioner isn't, the donkey is, the bus isn't, horse is, pencil isn't, trees are living, the seagull, 2 different photos of seagulls there. The clock isn't, cactus is, but the building isn't. So we've got a insect, another beetle as well, a bird, and some insect, a fly, and an owl. Everything else isn't, so we've got the train, the phone, the aircraft, the kitchen, and a chest of drawers. We've got an insect, isn't living, sorry, is living, the bird, tree, and a plant, and another insect. And there's a bed, it looks to be a key to open up some canned food. Some cans can ship without can openers and have the can opener integrated into it, but you usually just use it once and it gets contained. But maybe it was common practice to ship it without them. Sorry, a long time ago. So living objects. I'm going with that's a glass of water, and we're not counting the person's hand. So we've got a cat, pig, tree, flowers, and chips and bed not. So seagull, looks to be a radiator, a boat, eggs. A fork isn't, and neither's a lounge, but the insect, giraffe, and tree are. The iron, helicopter, and phone aren't, but the plant, bird, and lion are. The space shuttle, bottles, and sandwich aren't, but the lamb, leaves, or tree, and other tree is. Alright, we'll go back to the beginning. So moving on to nature. So place the nature images to the right and the other objects to the left. So the bus, spoon, alarm clock, hamburger, and macaroni shouldn't be part of nature. Don't think the train is going to be counted either. But the hillside, icebergs, mountains, side of a mountain, trees, and lake certainly count as nature. So we've got the river, bike won't be, mango won't be, food, bottles, fork, and onions won't. But it looks to be a rocky cliffside, mountainside, mountain ranges, snow-covered mountains, and coast will be part of nature. Small waterfall, rocky coastline, clouds over what looks to be a lake, countryside, and lake with a rainbow would be, but the buildings won't count, and neither does a fast train. Looks to be a small pond, hiking trail on the mountains, forest, rocky outcrop. I'm not sure I'd call it a waterfall, but I'm not sure I'd call it a river either. But water coming into the lake or the ocean. Tram, train, fan, and mobile phones will certainly not be nature. The lake. I think it's rocks protruding in the desert. A hillside, a forest, and outcrop in the desert are nature, but the building, bed, food, and pineapples aren't. Let's remove the vegetables, sofa, and building off first. But the rocky coastline, the shoreline as well, and the valley were part of nature. Bike, fan, and biscuits aren't. But the ice sheet, the rocky desert, and the waterfall by the ocean are. So mountain and a lake, definitely. And forest, lake by forest, definitely. Glass of milk. Scales, chair, and pencil are not. Which brings us on to insects. Beetle, I'm not sure what that is. Probably a cricket. Moth, and butterfly. Second type of butterfly. But a bird, horse, iceberg, giraffe, and tree aren't insects. So we've got, looks to be a cricket, moth, and I'm not sure what else is there. A beetle, last one there. The elephant, birds, lion, eggs, and I think it's going to be a mouse, not a rat. Is butterfly, the dragonfly with its wings out, and caterpillar, I think, or type of caterpillar. Bird, helicopter, another bird, and kitchen is not going to be an insect. got a beetle, caterpillar, the bird isn't, the rabbit isn't, bed and phone aren't, but the rest of them are. I think that's a fly and mosquito. I'm not too sure what that is. So just got 3 insects there with the beetle. Lyrebird, pig, and tree aren't. And looks to be just these 3 there with an ant, dragonfly, and something else. The iron, pigeon, and lamb isn't. And that's the insects. We've got fishes. So that's a multimeter. Side cutters, light bulb, cutlery, monument, and skyscraper, and the rest of them are fish. I'm not sure what each different type are. So let's get the fish first this time. I think that might be a clownfish. So we've got a dam. Looks to be Colosseum. Pliers, pillow, solar panels, and nail clippers. Grab the chair, light bulb, windmill. I'm going to call it ruins. I'm not sure what it was back in the day. And the rest of these are fish. Start with the fish again. This looks to be a geyser of hot water or steam coming out as well. We've got the Sydney Opera House, plate, and a building. Just 3 fishes. Then there's what I think is a church, but it's a building. Fry pan and pencil. Definitely not fish. So we've got 3 fish. Whoops. 3 fish again. Scissors, windmill, and geysers aren't. And that ends up, that's the fish. So some household goods to the right and everything else to the left. Blender, definitely. Toaster, yes. I'm a bit unsure about the household goods, but certainly an airplane and train would not be considered household goods. I'm going to move the glass over here as food, and that one is food, and then bring in the key, bed, and I think that's a laundry sink as well. I'll try as the laptop is. A mountainside isn't, neither is a building or a boat. 2 boats. I don't think the fruit is either. And definitely not a hamburger. You could see them at home, but you wouldn't expect them. I'd consider them to be food, not things that won't go off, like some kitchenware. So I think a radiator is going to be included as well. So some stools, sofa, looks to be a cupboard, some blinds that help block out the light. There's a kitchen oven down the bottom, and it looks to be a microwave up the top. Bird, building, rocket, train, insect. Looks to be a child's bed, a cot, so yeah, I didn't think it was going to be in, but it's in. Thought there was too many on the right. So a boat isn't, nor is an insect or food. Let's get rid of some more food as well. And another bird, but a lounge. It looks to be a bed, table and chairs, coffee machine, another bed, and an iron. I think you'd all find them in a house. The train, definitely not. Bird, potatoes, macaroni and bottles, no. And another bird. But a chair. Looks to be a cabinet. That might be a kitchen cabinet to store goods, but it looks to be antique. Stool. That looks to be a fridge that's under a desk. A single bed and a radio. That looks to be an iron, and I don't think we've seen one of them before. It looks to be a newer model, and it has a dock in it as best as I can tell, so that you'd pick that up and then iron the clothing. Another, I think it's a pizza. Spinach leaves, waterfall, mangoes, not, but a coffee machine, toaster, blinds with a ladder, and TV. I would expect they're flying around a house. I'm not sure exactly what this is, but it looks to be a fan, maybe a heater with settings. Stovetop. It's a vintage radio. And a bed and a sink. But tree, building, helicopter, and cucumbers I wouldn't call household goods. Sewing machine, vacuum cleaner, vintage iron, toaster, air conditioner I would, but cow, hummingbird, bee, and sandwich I wouldn't. Towels, definitely. Folding chair, yes. A moth I wouldn't. A lamp and a stove, microwave, and fridge freezer, definitely. The bus, building, elephant, no, but a bed I'd expect to find in a house. And that brings us to the end of household goods. So a monument is a big building attraction area. So the tweezers you'd find at home, a fry pan, cutlery, light, you wouldn't. A windmill, I wouldn't consider a monument because they could see dozens or hundreds of them. And I'm going to say a dam isn't by itself, but you might have a large dam like a tourist attraction that is. So this looks to be big and grand monument. I think all of these are sort of one of a kinds, even though that's a very tall building. So a Colosseum is old, but I think that's the tallest building in the area. So we've got, I think that's in Rio de Janeiro with, I think it's Christ. I think this one's in France. We've got the Eiffel Tower, Pyramids of Egypt. I think that could be the Empire State Building, but it looks to be tall and big enough. And the Great Wall of China. A dam, fish, several different spoons, more fish, tape measure. I'm not sure what that is, but I don't think it's going to be a monument. So some slightly cleaning fluid, hammer, fish, and knot. I'd call the Sydney Opera House a monument. It looks to be the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And I'm going to go that I think the others are, but I'm not sure what they are. So, the Statue of Liberty, pair of scissors, pliers and knot, guys is not. That looks to be a solar still. So you put it out in a sunny day, the mirrors reflect the light onto the middle, and it gets very, very hot. But I wouldn't call it a monument. And then some buildings, and then Mount Rushmore. I think this one's going to be a monument, and that one will. The pillows, flyers, and solar panels aren't. So, depending on how big your day's been, the pillow might seem like a monument and a great sight at the end of a very long day, particularly if you've walked a long way. I don't know if that's a football or netball or something else, but it's not a monument. Neither is a chair or a scythe. It looks to be a weir. So you've got water up here that gently flows down onto another one. But these two look to be monuments, big important buildings, like one of a kind. So the cutlery, tweezers again, windmill. We're back to the beginning, so I'll skip out of that one. Onto renewable sources. So sources of renewable energy. It's like wind, solar panel, and dams. So a ball isn't, pillow isn't. The windmill is. The fish aren't. A tower by itself isn't. And neither are the pliers. So all of these that are renewable energy are windmills. And so I've got solar panels as well. I think that's going to be another solar furnace, but it might be a Stirling engine. Then we've got a solar furnace, solar panels. They look to be solar stills as well. So even if it doesn't use a mirror, you can use glass to trap heat inside and use it to cook areas, sort of similar to a slow cooker. So a monument, scissors, a bucket, fish, tower, and plate. They aren't renewable. Fish, adjustable wrench, spanner, ball, pliers is not, and looks to be a monument as well without any generation. But we've got several different dams here, and you can use electricity. You can generate electricity by capturing the motion of water flowing downhill. So this one, I'm not sure whether it is generating it or not. So if I didn't get them all right, it would have been the first to move across. So let's get rid of the windmill, solar panels, and the windmill again. That looks to be a bit of scientific equipment that I guess is a scale. Monument, cup and saucer, pyramid, and looks to be cleaning fluid. They're not going to be renewable. So we've got a newer wind turbine there. We've got a dam. The geyser might, depending on whether it's considered geothermal or not. The fry pan and fish certainly isn't. I'll put the wind here, but I'm going to put the geyser here. I'm not certain everything's right, but it looks like it is. So when you have a coal power station, you burn the coal, get the heat, use the heat to boil the water, and use the motion of that water, that steam, to turn an energy, to turn a turbine, and that uses a generator, makes electricity. You can use the same heat vent caught from underneath from a geyser to boil water and use the same second part of it, except that you're not burning coal for it, and that's called geothermal. So it looks to be a chalkboard, a monument, windmill, solar panel, and multimeter. Windmill, solar panels, and a dam. Windmill, dam, and second windmill, fish plate, and I think that's an important monument in France. Could be wrong, but it doesn't look like it's associated with renewables. So we've finished those ones. We're almost done. Means of transport. So we want to get from one place to another, and we want it to help us out. So a bed, air conditioner. The food will probably help if we're walking, but it's not going to count directly. And the radiator is not going to. Cart. Actually, I'm going to leave the cart to the end because it may not be a means directly, but if I want to carry a large amount of stuff, put a cart onto the back of the tractor, and that'll help get the food out to the animals. So I've got a blinds, train, airplane, kettle, camels, car. Fork isn't. We're up the side of the hill isn't. It looks to be a ferry but it takes motor vehicles as well. Moth, bus, and lamp. Yeah, tuk-tuk is, train, helicopter is. It's not too common, but yeah, space shuttle, I'll call it is. Plane and a train. Grapes, apple, fried rice, mountains, milk, and snow-covered mountains. So we've got some boats. It looks to be a wind, possibly solar panel powered ship. bicycle, boat, definitely. The radio, pumpkin, I think that might be goulash, isn't. The cactus isn't, car would be, and the bus. The other items are food and the kitchen. And the tram, snowmobile, the building isn't, car is, and the ships are, as well as a smaller bus. The other items are animals. I'm going to say a horse is a means of transport, at least the first time through. You can ride a horse. It was fairly common. Now I look at it, I thought it was going to be wrong, but certainly put it in first. Yeah, koala is not going to be a means of transport. They sleep almost all of the day. Rocket is, toaster isn't, insect, bird, and pizza, giving us a, it looks to be a road train, maybe transporting fuel, so petrol or diesel might be in the back of it. It's not uncommon in the outback to see very, very long trains. So we've got a ship, train, car, and then clothes hangers, lake and tree. Not going to be means of transport. And there's a car. It might be a people mover. So your normal car might take 4 people, comfortably 5 if they're friends. But this one might take 7 or 8. And I've seen vehicles where in the boot section, you can fold up a chair. You'd lose a bit of space in the boot, but if you needed to transport 6 or 7, maybe 8 people comfortably, this could be a good option. The vacuum cleaner, glass of milk, grasshopper, and bird. I wouldn't call them means of transport. Though people did send messages attached to homing pigeons, but that didn't transport people themselves. So we've got a train, plane, and a bike. Valley, beetle, and cauliflower, they're not going to cut it. Back to the beginning. So odd and even numbers. So place the even numbers to the right and odd numbers to the left. So odd. I'm going to get caught out here as to what's even. I'm pretty sure. No, I think I'm confused. I might be confused with a prime number of something that's divisible by itself, whereas just odd and even is if it's divisible by 2 or if it's not. So 96 is divisible by 2, 92, 22, 88, 72 are, and 192 are. 111, 47, 35, 15, 23, and 39 are all odd. So 23 is odd, 111 is odd, 353 is odd, 39 is odd, 145 is odd, and everything else is even. So 786, 92, 192, and 276. So 15's odd, 35, 47, and 353. Well, even numbers 22, 72, 88, 192, and 786. So 1, 5, and 7, 10, 16, and 12. Four, 8, and 2, and 3, 9, 11 are odd. And we're back to the beginning, which leaves us with 1 to go. Last to go are tools. So there's a hammer, a few different hammers here actually. That one has a grip on the back of it that you can have put around partially exposed nails and take them out. whereas a pillow, geyser, building, monument, puppet saucer, and windmill, they're not tools themselves. So we've got tape measures, and normally that might be associated with sewing, particular tape measure, but I'm calling it a tool for the purpose of this one. And we got this one as well. Fish, chalkboard, fry pan, dam, and buildings, and not. So adjustable spanner, tweezers, scissors, I'm going to say are all tools. But fish, plate, get the feeling it might say the cleaning is a tool. The sprayer, okay, let's say the sprayer is a tool. Yep, we're certainly classifying it as a tool here. So we've got some cordless drills, and it looks to be a drill as well. The windmill isn't, the Mount Rushmore isn't, a screwdriver is. And here's another screwdriver. It looks like you can change the heads on this one from a flathead to a Phillips head, whereas this one's just not adjustable. Needle nose pliers, which have got a very fine tip compared to standard pliers. So a baseball and the other items are not tools. So yeah, it's got the picture up now. So we've got the needle nose pliers with the small thin nose, but then these are normal pliers where you've got the larger, wider grip. Screwdriver, tape measure, hammer, multimeter. I'm calling it as a tool. I can measure electrical current going through. Pliers, tweezers, cutters, scythe, and adjustable wrench. Dam, opera house, light bulb and solar panels, I wouldn't call a tool. So we've got the pliers, scissors, normal pliers, cutters, windmill, monument chair, fish, and a Sydney Opera House. Almost there. This is a large wind-up tape, so you might use it to measure sporting fields or buildings. Needle nose pliers, floor hammer with the floor on the back of it to help them out. I'm not going to call the solar still a tool at the moment, and then there's the building and the fish. I'm not sure what this tool is. It might be an industrial grade, like multimeter to measure large amounts of current flowing through power lines and similar, but I'm still calling it a tool. And then we've got the pliers, fish, and fry pan. And we're back to the beginning. No, we're not back to the beginning. We're on to number 10, sorry. So we've got multimeter, screwdriver, claw hammer. And the other items are not tools. A pillow, dam, and pizza. Now we're back to the beginning, which brings us to the end of the category. So hopefully that's helped with the introduce people to some words and items that they might come across. I'm pretty sure that now brings us to the end of what I was looking to go through today. So there's a lot more to this program. I highly recommend it. It's from ages, I think they're saying it's from ages about 2 to 10, but I think it's a great tool for people looking to learn English. Now, this video I've avoided using the pronunciation. You can go into the settings and you can turn on audio, voices, and effects. So when I might click on an item, it'll say things, and you can certainly, when you go into enrich your vocabulary, I'm pretty sure when you go into actions, so there'll be people that'll say things. So you can hear someone saying it won't be my voice, a specific one, and they're all pre-canned recordings. So but it can help if you're looking to study by yourself. And as I said, it's free, unlicensed as open source software, well worth it. Mac, PC, Linux, and Android. You can tune it between American and British English, and there's a lot more activities to do, including some games that you can play through, so including some puzzles of chess as well. So you can play against the computer in some cases. So let's go through this one. So I'm going to drop items into Connect 4. And at the moment we've got the computer dropping into. So I want to get 4 items in a row, whether that's horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. I'm going to stop them from getting this one. And then I'm going to put the 4th item over here. And we've also got various levels of skills. So if I go up high, it will feel much smarter, and won't go through and let that finish, of course. But I'm still relatively new to this. This is one of the longest presentations I've done. I'm going to be listening back to it and try and give myself points and tips. But if you've got any questions, comments, feedbacks, if there's something I did that was annoying, let me know. I'm trying to make it better. I know one of the videos a while ago, I would say for pauses, and I'm trying to hopefully get that out. But if there's anything you'd like me to see, anything you'd like me to see, do go through. More than happy to help out. I can go through and play through and do the enrich your vocabulary, and I might even be able to see about live streaming while having this up and running. It is a bit fidgety, but I'm happy to see what I can do. And if it's been helpful, hit the like button, please. And if you, if you'd like to see more, let me know. I'll see what I can do to help out. Thank you for watching.